The bye week may seem like a break, but behind the scenes, things are far from calm in Atlanta. With key players eyeing a return, growing rumors of a major coaching change, and an offensive star approaching MVP status, there's no shortage of drama for the second half of the season. What's real, what's rumor, and what could change everything for the Dirty Birds? Let's dive in. Hit the like button now, and if you're a die-hard fan, rise up. Now, Storm Norton is nearing his return to the Falcons' active roster, and for those closely watching Atlanta's offensive line struggles, this might be one of the most significant developments coming out of the bye week. Norton, a swing lineman capable of playing both tackle and guard, brings with him a run-blocking grade of 67.1 from his 2024 season, a mark that signals above-average performance, particularly in a unit that has been shaky in the ground game. While pass protection has held steady, it's been a mixed bag up front when it comes to opening lanes for the run, and Norton's return could immediately elevate that aspect of the offense. Among the other Falcons on short-term IR, linebacker Troy Anderson, edge rusher Bralin Trice, and defensive tackle Taquan Graham could also be activated following the bye. But realistically, none of these names carry the same immediate impact potential as Norton. That's not to diminish what Anderson, Trice, or Graham could bring. The depth and rotation value is definitely there, but Norton feels like a potential stabilizer. Someone who can immediately step into a rotation and move bodies, especially on the right side where consistency has been lacking. Elijah Wilkinson has done what he can, but it's been far from dominant, and that's the kind of void Norton can help fill. This bye week arrives at a pivotal time, and it's being treated like more than just a breather. For Raheem Morris and the Falcons coaching staff, it's a rare moment to recalibrate, especially with the Buffalo Bills looming. But what's really intriguing is how Morris handled the Zach Robinson situation. With Robinson rumored to be in contention for the head coaching role at Oklahoma State, his alma mater, it was inevitable that questions would start circulating. And Morris didn't exactly shut them down. He could have deflected, he could have stonewalled the media with cliches about focusing on the next game, on getting healthy, on improving execution. But he didn't. Instead, he embraced the speculation, saying, "You want people to want our people," and even called the rumors awesome for Robinson and his family. That's not the typical response from a head coach trying to maintain focus within a locker room, and it's raised some eyebrows. When you publicly acknowledge and almost welcome a distraction, it's hard not to wonder if something's already been set in motion behind closed doors. For fans hoping for continuity, this isn't comforting. Robinson hasn't exactly solidified his status in Atlanta. His play calling has been erratic, overly predictable, and at times uninspiring. Yes, there were glimpses of competence, but there hasn't been enough consistent evolution in the offense to declare him a long-term solution. So maybe, just maybe, the Oklahoma State rumors aren't a crisis, they're a solution in disguise. If he goes, Atlanta gets a chance to pivot offensively and bring in someone who might truly unlock the potential of this skill group. And speaking of potential, Bijan Robinson is creeping into MVP conversation territory, and it's not without merit. When you lead the NFL in scrimmage yards, 584, and scrimmage yards per game, 146, you're forcing the league and its fans to take notice. He's fifth in total rushing yards, and he's doing this all while playing in an offense that's been abysmal in the red zone. We're talking 46.1% red zone efficiency, good for 26th in the NFL. That means more than half the time the Falcons are inside the opponent's 20-yard line, they come away without a touchdown. That's a schematic issue, not a player issue. Bijan's yards per touch numbers are elite. His ability to contribute as both a runner and a receiver is second to none right now. What's missing? Touchdowns. And that's what voters latch onto. You can have all the yards in the world, but if you're not finding the end zone, you're not winning MVP in this league. If the Falcons can sort out their red zone woes, even slightly, and give Bijan those extra scoring chances, his MVP stock could go nuclear. It's rare that a team with a .500 record or worse has a legitimate MVP candidate, but Bijan is testing those boundaries. He's that electric. He's that dynamic. And perhaps most importantly, he's that consistent. That's what separates elite talents from flashes in the pan. The Falcons may not be a juggernaut, but Bijan has kept them in games they had no business being in. His presence alone shifts defensive game plans. It's time to ask, if this man starts crossing the goal line more often, who's stopping him in the MVP race? So Falcons fans, as we sit here at the bye week, with players returning from IR, coaching rumors swirling, and a potential MVP candidate emerging before our eyes, what do you think? Is the bye week the turning point this team needs, or are there still too many questions that need answering? Let me know your thoughts below. And as we come out of this bye week, all eyes shift to what happens next. The return of key players like Storm Norton could serve as the backbone of a potential turnaround, especially if the offensive line starts creating those critical holes that allow Bijan Robinson to finish drives instead of settling for field goals. Because as great as Bijan's numbers are, we're still talking about a team that ranks near the bottom of the league in red zone efficiency. And that's where coaching, schematics, and execution converge or fall apart. The Zach Robinson situation continues to hover over this team like a quiet storm. The connection to Oklahoma State isn't just rumor mill fluff. Vegas betting sites have listed him as one of the top 2 candidates for the job, second only to G.J. Kinney of Texas State. That's not speculation. That's financial institutions putting money behind the probability that Robinson returns to Stillwater. And considering his history with the Cowboys, having played quarterback under Mike Gundy, there's a narrative arc that makes sense for all parties. But here's the twist. If Robinson does leave, it might allow this offense to evolve in ways it hasn't under his leadership. As mentioned earlier, the inconsistency in his play calling has frustrated fans and analysts alike. He's shown flashes of brilliance, but they're overshadowed by stretches of predictability and conservative decision-making. The ceiling of this offense has felt capped, and maybe a fresh perspective is what unlocks a higher gear, particularly with a roster that includes Bijan, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts, all capable of being game-changers. The biggest wild card in all of this? Raheem Morris. His approach to these rumors and his willingness to publicly speak on them, not in denial, not in defiance, but almost in support, sends a message. Whether intentional or not, it paints a picture of a staff that may already be preparing for life post-Zach Robinson. And if that's the case, then the second half of the season becomes more than just a playoff push. It becomes an audition for what this coaching group can achieve with or without their current offensive coordinator. Meanwhile, Bijan Robinson will continue to be the pulse of this team. If the Falcons can tighten things up in the red zone, convert more of those drives into 6 points instead of 3, Bijan's MVP case becomes undeniable. No other running back in the NFL is doing what he's doing in terms of total yardage and consistency, and the only missing ingredient is scoring. If he starts doing that, we're not just talking about team MVP, we're talking league MVP. So let me ask you again, Falcons fans, how do you see this playing out? Is the return of Storm Norton enough to jumpstart the offense? Should the team already be preparing for a post-Zach Robinson era? And do you believe Bijan Robinson can take home the league's top individual honor if this offense starts clicking? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because the real story of this Falcons season might just be getting started. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for daily updates, and click on the video that just popped up on your screen for even more exclusive Falcons coverage. The latest news, the real stories, and everything Dirty Birds, you'll only find it right here. Go Falcons!